Now, this has to be some of the most enjoyable chapters I've read in One Piece in a while, just because of the implication of several things in this chapter that could lead to a lot more. Luffy versus Ulti and page 1, which was really amazing. That was a really good action sequence, and of course the massive reveal at the end with Yamato and the insane sort of implication that it has for the arc and overall for the alliance and their chances against Kaido, especially with what Yamato said, which I will get into later in this video. But I imagine that a lot of theories and speculation could come from this based on his words, and also as to who Yamato is. Is this a new character or someone that we've heard about beforehand? A lot can come out of this, but overall I really enjoy this One Piece chapter. But let's start from the beginning. Now, the chapter starts off with Ferrospace finally making his move towards Onigashima, and it seems that he's really close there. Now, something I will say that is that I'm actually glad that he's taken the initiative and actually taking things into his own hands and making a move. But I will say that why didn't this happen sooner? We know that the Big Mom Pirates spent about a week plus at the base of the waterfall, so why is Ferrospace making his move now? Perhaps Marco's arrival was something that ticked him off, but there's also personal agendas to take into account here. Ferrospace is the eldest, so in most cases he feels like certain things should happen this way because of seniority, which could explain why he didn't come with any of the other members of the Big Mom Pirates, because you would think that he could have brought Smoothie or maybe Daifuku, but he came alone. So this hints towards the possibility that he's acting on his own, because at the end here he said that he doesn't approve of the alliance even though Big Mom agreed to team up with Kaido, and then he mentions that the Big Mom Pirates will be the one left standing at the end. Now, even though this might seem like him being overconfident, I think this could lead into more things about Big Mom playing a part into taking Kaido down, or Big Mom backstabbing Kaido in some way. And the cause of this could be Ferrospace, because we've seen Ferrospace do something similar, whereas when Big Mom was having her hunger pangs, he diverted Big Mom's attention towards the Straw Hats. So he might play some role, whereas he's going to get into Big Mom's head or do something that makes it possible for Big Mom to go with the backstabbing route, right? I feel like that's a role that he's going to be playing moving forward. You know, given the chaos that is going on Onigashima right now, I think it's very fair to say that he can cause a lot of problems for every party involved, both the alliance and Kaido. This was definitely a very interesting plot point that could result into much bigger things later in this arc. So Ferrospace being involved in all of this chaos makes Onigashima a lot more chaotic than it already is, right? So I'm definitely looking forward to where this is going. Now, interestingly, given that Ferrospace is already that close to Onigashima, I think it's safe to assume that Marco and Neko are probably on the island already or very close to it. And we do also know that Marco has some sort of plan, so we should see Marco and the others soon, probably in the next 4 or 5 chapters. Now we then move on to Big Mom's side of things with Chopper, Usopp, and the others, and it seems like Big Mom has diverted her attention to Nami, because one of the things that she's always wanted to do when she got into Wano was to get back Zeus from Nami. Now, one of the more interesting things Nami mentions here is that Sanji went somewhere by himself, and this could lead into a lot of things. Now, granted, Sanji is still in the mansion, but I think whenever the Straw Hats are by themselves, they usually encounter something or someone that leads into an interesting plot point. And again, over the course of the story, we've seen Sanji play a role of sabotage in most cases, like during Enies Lobby with the Gates of Justice, and also in Alabasta with Mr. Prince, whereas he does key things that helps the Straw Hats in some way, shape, or form. So Sanji being by himself could lead into something very interesting. Now, given that girls are involved in all of this, it's going to be very hard to say what it is Sanji's going to do, but we'll see what happens moving forward. We then move on to Orochi's side of things, in which Momonosuke is already on the execution platform. And again, I mentioned this in my previous chapter, where this could be an awakening moment for Momo to improve as a character and show growth and progress. Again, I do think that Momo will be rescued by someone, whether it's Luffy or someone else, but again, I do think that he's going to have a moment to shine against Orochi, in which, you know, maybe Kaido would start to respect him, because that's a point that has been sort of reiterated with Kaido in the flashback, and obviously with the previous chapter, where Kaido views Momo to be this kid that doesn't really measure up to Odin, right? Again, I do think it's going to play out in the same fashion as Yasu, where Momo is going to have some speech that, you know, goes under Orochi's skin, and before Orochi tries to kill Momo, given the paranoia that he goes through when it comes to the Kozuki, I think more than likely someone saves Momo at that exact moment. Most likely Luffy. Just because Luffy was the person that said that he was going to come for Momo as long as he was able to survive by himself for a bit. And there's also that dialogue and the relationship between Luffy and him. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Now we also get to see Zoro, Kid, and Killer taking on several small users. And this really goes to show that individually these guys aren't really that impressive. But because of the number that Kaido has on his side and the numbers of small users on Kaido's crew, it's not that easy for them to force their way through Kaido's forces. Because Zoro, Killer, and Kid are sort of overwhelmed by the numbers, but not so much by individual strength. And I think this really goes to show that a Yonko in their own territory, even the lower tiers, can be a problem, especially given the fact that these guys are actually Devil Fruit users as well. So they're not just ordinary lower tiers, right? But for the time being, it seems like Zoro, Killer, and Kid are very close to each other, and Luffy has separated away from them, but it looks like everyone is eventually going to split up, with each of them having their own separate plot line down the road. I'm just more so interested in what Kid is going to do, because we want to see more from Kid. Now we then move on to page 1 versus Luffy, and this was easily the most hype part of the chapter for me, because this was really good, because I'm definitely looking at the Flying Six a lot differently now, because Ulti showing in this chapter was really great, because we really don't get that much strong female fighters in the series in general, apart from the few that we do know. And again, Ulti proved herself to be a really strong fighter, and she's obviously someone that goes straight into action, because as soon as Luffy was revealed to be the enemy and Luffy saying the typical "I'm going to be Pirate King," it was on the side for Ulti at that point, in which she attacks Luffy with a headbutt. And I like this because when Luffy saw that she was coming in with a headbutt, Luffy also took the stance to receive it with his head, because sometimes Luffy loves to play with people in their own game, just like he did with the bull back in Zou. Now they both use Armament Haki, which results in a massive explosion on the floor. But I guess this really goes to show that Ulti is a really strong physical fighter, even in base form, again, which ties back to the theme of Kaido's crew and them being Zoans. And talking about Zoans, we also get a reveal of her Devil Fruit along with page 1, which we already knew about, and she has a Pachysaurus. Now I'm not going to say the full name because I cannot pronounce it, but for short I'll just call it a Pachysaurus for now. But it's basically one of those dinosaurs that has a very strong head, I'm assuming, which also ties to why a lot of the skill sets that we see from Ulti are head attacks. So I'm guessing that this specific dinosaur has a very strong skull. And a lot of people were thinking that she could have a Velociraptor, but again, when it comes to identifying which Flying Six is going to have what dinosaur, it's hard because Oda has a lot that he can take from in terms of the ancient dinosaurs of the past. But I think this definitely confirms that the Flying Six will all have an ancient Zoan Devil Fruit. Ulti's hybrid form does look really cool as well, that I will say. And I will say that the choreography was really great. This is something you would expect for top fights like Luffy versus Katakuri and Luffy versus Luffy-Ulti, right? It was really good. And I think the fact that Luffy had to go gear 4th says a lot about Ulti's strength as well, right? The Flying Six are looking really good so far. I think Who's Who is probably the guy a lot of people are waiting for, because it looks like he's the strongest of the bunch. Potentially X-Drake, but Who's has that portrayal, right? Now, right as Luffy was about to get pounded by Ulti, they were interrupted by Kaido's son, who attacks Ulti off guard, making her pass out, at least for right now, because I do think that she's eventually going to get back up a few seconds afterwards, given that Zoans have this insane recovery time. But we do see Yamato use the same attack as Kaido, and he also has a mace, so it's safe to say that he probably has a very similar fighting style to Kaido, and also that he's pretty powerful. Now I don't know how strong, but I would say that he's comparable to the other Flying Six right now. We need to see more. Again, he has a demon mask, so we don't actually see how he looks like, and he does have some similar elements to Odin with the belt thing. A lot of people have speculated that maybe he was someone that looked up to Odin. Now he also mentions that Luffy was someone that he's been waiting for, so this is someone that obviously knows who Luffy is. And from what I'm getting from this person, this person might be an ally for the alliance or an ally for Luffy, right? And we got hints here and there earlier because it seems that Yamato was someone that Kaido couldn't control, or someone that was really not in allegiance with Kaido. And here we can see that he has some chains on his arms, so it looks like he was restrained for reasons that we're not aware of, because maybe he did things that Kaido didn't like. But this can go to a lot of places in terms of his role in this arc, and this could honestly be a turning point for this whole raid at Onigashima, because I'm very invested into seeing what happens next. But this whole reveal was really great. The chapter overall was really enjoyable. I had fun reading this chapter. But this was just my quick thoughts on the chapter. What do you guys think? Comment down below what you guys think. Like the video if you liked it, and subscribe for more One Piece content. It is Pharaoh, and I will see you folks later. Peace.